In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we'll give you an update on the spread of the COVID-19 virus, take a plunge with some brave souls raising money for a worthwhile organization, and stop by the Morse Pond School to see how a local business is doing its part to help the environment. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. Since our last episode, the spread of the COVID-19 virus has been declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization. The Community Health Center of Cape Cod has produced a video detailing how to remain safe and healthy during this epidemic.
At the Community Health Center of Cape Cod, we're communicating with our patients about COVID-19 and how to stay safe and healthy during this epidemic. At this point in time, we are communicating via email messaging, our patient portal, and our website, as well as text messaging. So be on the lookout for information in regards to what you should do in the event that you think you may have the virus or you may have been exposed to the virus. The symptoms that we are concerned about include a significant fever, and in an adult we consider above 100.4 to be a significant fever, as well as a deep cough and shortness of breath. Those are the three primary symptoms, although there are other symptoms that can develop with this as well. What we would like patients to do is make sure that they are calling us before they are coming into the health center if they have these symptoms or they feel they have been exposed. Almost everyone who gets this virus will resolve it on their own without any kind of intervention other than symptomatic support. So rest, pushing fluids, using things like Tylenol and Advil to control fever and other symptoms. However, if there are significant symptoms like shortness of breath, that is something that may need to be treated more aggressively. And if you really feel that that is something that's a significant symptom for you, you should contact your provider and or go to the emergency room where supportive measures can be taken to help get through that part of the illness. The most important things to know to keep yourself healthy at this point in time are good hygiene. So as everyone has heard already, and I hope everyone practices on a daily basis anyway, is good hand washing techniques. So when you are before you eat a meal or after you've shaken hands with someone or been in any kind of a situation where you may have come into contact with things, you want to be washing your hands for 20 seconds with hot water and soap, or using one of the alcohol preparations that are good for hand hygiene. Trying to avoid touching your face with your hands is another way of trying to prevent the spread of this to yourself. Not an easy thing to do sometimes because it's kind of an unconscious thing that people tend to do. The other thing is when you do sneeze or cough, you should be doing that into your elbow, not into your hands, to try to prevent transmission that way. If you do develop symptoms and are not in any kind of distress, the recommendation at this point is to what they call self-quarantine, meaning stay at home, rest, push fluids, and take care of yourself in general. If you have any questions, please contact us at the health center and we can advise you on what the best course of action would be. As far as other measures to keep yourself healthy, wearing a mask in public, if you're otherwise healthy, is not necessary at this point in time. Those masks are really designed for people who are coughing or having symptoms and coming into a health center or potentially going to be exposing other people to symptoms. So really there's not considered much benefit to wearing a mask if you're going out in public and you're otherwise healthy. The patients that we do get more concerned about are patients who have some underlying medical illness. People who have lung disease or who have underlying heart disease or diabetes or are immunocompromised in some way may be at a higher risk for developing a more severe case of COVID-19. So for those patients, trying to avoid crowded places is a reasonable approach. Avoiding travel that's not absolutely necessary at this point in time is also being recommended. Certainly, the biggest thing that people can do to help themselves in this time is to get the flu vaccine if they have not already done so. We are seeing much more flu here at the health center than any COVID-19 at this point in time. So if you have not gotten your flu vaccine, it's not too late to do so. And certainly if there's any significant shortness of breath, you need to head directly to the emergency room and get assistance there.
Thanks to the Community Health Center of Cape Cod and Mashpee TV's Bill Ney for sharing that important information. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce has created a dedicated page on its website to host information regarding the COVID-19 virus. There is a listing of restaurants that are offering takeout and/or delivery options for the Falmouth area, and the Chamber is collaborating with government agencies, elected officials, and other local chambers of commerce to pass important information along to the community. As this important story continues to evolve by the hour, stay tuned to the FCTV cable channels, website, and social media accounts for frequent updates on scheduled changes and cancellations, along with tips for how you can help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The Falmouth Planning Board has been investigating potential changes to local zoning laws that would permit the redevelopment of a portion of town by Falmouth Heights Road and Davis Straits. A form-based code would specify the shapes and forms of buildings and allow for residential and commercial development to create a cohesive village. FCTV checked in with Planning Board member Jim Fox for an explanation of the proposal.
Hi, my name's Jim Fox. I'm a member of the Falmouth Planning Board, and we've been working for about 4 or 5 years on where we can develop some housing in Falmouth. And we've come up with an idea to redevelop Falmouth Plaza. Right now it's the beginning of Davis Straits right here and goes all the way up to CVS. We're talking about starting off in this section right here using a new type of planning called form-based code. And what that is the planning board works with the neighbors and the people of town and designs what the area is going to look like, actually the physical form and the buildings and their relationship to each other and to the street. And our goal is to create a walkable neighborhood where people can live and work and shop. We plan to have retail here. We picked this site primarily because it's on public transportation. We have bus rides here. It's also on the town sewer, and it's a quick, easy walk down to the beach or walk downtown, so people could actually live here and walk to work and really have a nice walkable neighborhood. We want to design it more for people than cars. As you can see right now, in the 50s and 60s when we did our zoning and laid this area out, it was all about the car, parking everywhere, giant paved areas. In fact, this is the biggest paved area we have in town. And our vision is to change that, bringing the buildings out closer to the street, integrating the parking more into the middle of the site, and make it a much more walkable neighborhood. And the structures we plan to build with the choices of people of Falmouth are more traditional Falmouth type buildings that we've had in our town in the past. So we'll be looking to some of historical perspective and getting the right shapes and sizes of the building. And then we're trying to make it easy for the owners of the property so when they redevelop it, they can actually earn some income on it. We hope to really increase the density. Right now our zoning doesn't work for redevelopment. We're allowed 6 units per acre, and if you try to redevelop this site to the maximum side, your build out, the units would be 2,000 feet, and they're never going to be affordable at 2,000 feet. And that's what's wrong with our zoning. It doesn't work. So we want to make it closer to 20 units per acre or maybe 15. We haven't really decided on the final number yet, but the idea is to have a mixed use with retail on the ground floor, walkable neighborhoods, connections to both the beach and downtown, and a beautiful spot for people to live, work, and play. We're in the outreach portion of this project right now, where we're beginning having public hearings, inviting the townspeople of Falmouth to come to our meetings and tell us what they want to have here. Mathematically, for the protection of our environment, building on this site is the very best site to be. This site's all on the sewer right now, and it's really If we were to build this housing anywhere else, we'd have to be taking the sewer to that site. And so with taking advantage of the infrastructure that's already here, the Main Street, Davis Straits and Falmouth Heights Road is a major intersection from our town, and we feel that this is a great place for people to live.
Stay tuned to FCTV and the televised planning board meetings as this proposal develops. Thanks to Jeff Wyman for that report. It's time now for the 3 things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Allison Leshin of the Route 28 Citizens Advisory Committee presented the final report of the committee after months of discussion and meetings finding the best solution for motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists to share this heavily trafficked corridor. The presentation gave detailed plans for that section of the highway between Sandwich Road and Oxbow Road, including sidewalks on the north and south of the road wide enough for pedestrians and cyclists.
Basically, the roadway will consist of 11-foot travel lanes with then a fog line, the white stripe that you see, and then 2 more feet of pavement that's part of the roadway. Then there's a granite curb that will go up, and there'll be a approximately 2-foot vegetated buffer. And then on the south side of the path, which is kind of the water side, there'll be an 8-foot multi-use path.
I've often said for every project, every major initiative, we absolutely have to include transportation because our roads were not made for the capacity we're already handling. If we're going to keep growing, that element has got to be addressed.
The Falmouth Preservation Alliance spoke with the selectmen Monday night concerned for the Edward Marks Building, or the poorhouse. The Alliance questioned the plan of moving the Falmouth Human Services Department into the building, suggesting that the improvements to be made are not adequate for such a valuable historical landmark in Falmouth.
Perhaps the Human Services Department could move to the current senior center because we viewed that as something that could be done much more easily than moving into an historical building with the complexity of the poorhouse.
And the town manager mentioned at the last meeting we addressed this, that there would be, some kind of duality of improvement, that there would be, while the human services folks were working, there would be appropriate renovation of the building. Restoration is the correct term.
James Vieira, Council on Aging Chairman, addressed the board regarding staffing for the senior center in anticipation of the completion of the new building. Mr. Vieira mentioned the new staff member to be voted by town meeting this spring, and he hopes to add more positions in the future to assist with the senior center's growing demand for services.
And certainly additional staffing has always been part of the discussion. Right from the start, when we started talking about a new building, we knew that it would lead ultimately to more staffing.
I want a job description, but I also want to know how many times during the day that's going to be required before I'd be willing to stand up and support adding a staff to the particular facility. So that's what I'm basically saying. I need specifics and how many times, and that's the kind of information. But at this point, it's nice to say, we need to be looking forward to potential need for this kind of staffing support.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll take the polar plunge with some brave souls at Falmouth Heights Beach. Stay with us.
When the old woman, Lois, answered the door, the first thing she said was, "Let me turn down my best friend." She was referring to the television set that was playing loudly across the room. As the director of Neighborhood Falmouth, I meet with all prospective members in their homes, and I was here to learn about her. I asked her how she thought Neighborhood Falmouth might help. She said, "I'm 84 years old. All of my friends are dead. I don't drive anymore. I barely go out. I'm so lonesome I could die." My breath caught, and I told her Neighborhood Falmouth could help. Neighborhood Falmouth is the terrific local organization that is helping seniors with transportation, light home maintenance, and social connection. Right now, there is a 6-month wait to become a member, because we can only grow our membership when we enlist more volunteers. People like you who enjoy driving, making friends, and who believe in paying it forward. Call us to learn more about volunteering or membership, or visit our website at neighborhoodfalmouth.org. And thanks.
Welcome back. Sunday, March 8th, saw a group of brave and hardy souls freezing for a reason as the 16th annual Polar Plunge was held at Falmouth Heights Beach. Sponsored by the British Beer Company, the event was a benefit for the group Belonging to Each Other, the Falmouth-based nonprofit organization that provides temporary housing and loving support to our homeless community members.
Yeah, hi, my name is Alan Burt, and I am part of an organization Belonging to Each Other here in Falmouth, and we rent 2 houses each winter, and we take care of people that have been homeless, and we help them into housing. It's a wonderful organization, and today I'm in my robe and bathing suit. We're going to do a polar plunge. A bunch of us are going to jump in the ocean, and in the process, for pity, I suppose, people are going to give us money so that we can continue to do the good work of helping those most in need. So the way this event works, the Polar Plunge, is those of us that want to jump in, we pay money to jump in. I don't know why that, but we do. And other people that just want to support this wonderful organization, they pay at least $20 or more. And again, it all goes to a very worthy cause to help those most in need in Falmouth.
The British Beer Company has been running this fundraiser for years. I'm not sure how many years, but they've sponsored different nonprofit groups. But fortunately, they've chosen Belonging to Each Other the past 3 years to be the recipients of the registration fees for the plunge. And we're also here promoting next week's event. It's a bowling tournament for Belonging to Each Other. It's the 3rd annual Clatter Bowl.
To learn more about the good work of Belonging to Each Other, visit their website, bteofalmouth.org. Thanks to Anthony Sedera for that coverage. The Cape Cod Collaborative Art Network, or Cape Cod CAN, serves more than 500 people each year through various art activities including art lessons, gallery shows, public art creation, talent shows, and theatrical performances. Katie Paul stopped by the FCTV studios to fill us in on what this organization has to offer and to take a look at the artwork featuring works by their students and instructors currently on display at the Falmouth Community Media Center.
Hi, I'm Katie Paul. I am the Programming Director and Administrator for Cape Cod CAN. We are a collaborative arts network. Our agency provides art and music opportunities for anybody who wants to share and explore talents on Cape Cod. We are under the fiscal agency Cotuit Center for the Arts, but we operate independently from them. We are growing, and our art classes are kept small, provided by a professional artist, art therapist, or music teachers. They happen at the facilities of various Cape Cod agencies serving a population of intellectual and developmentally disabled adults across the Cape, or we're working with high schoolers in the special ed classrooms, bringing in the professional art teacher. And like I said, it's all about the inclusivity. Anyone can participate. So a couple of times a year, we have everybody submit their artwork for exhibits. And It began with an annual exhibit at the Cape Cod Cultural Center, but in the last year or so we've been looking for other venues, and so we're really excited to be here at FCTV. We're calling this exhibit Collaborations, which really features the professional artwork of our teachers, but also the amazing talent and creativity of all of the students, and it's gorgeous. I mean, on your beautiful new walls and all of this amazing art, it looks great.
So this exhibit is the first time that we've actually shown the teacher artwork alongside the student artwork, so it's a little special for us. But the art classes are run not just for an opportunity for the students to create their own art, but also to get to work with a working artist from Cape Cod. So the relationship between the teacher and the student, I think, is equally as important as the creativity that comes out of the classes. Art is very important to a lot of our students as well. It gives them confidence, a means to express themselves, and a lot of times it's a way to communicate when otherwise they might not be able to communicate as easily. So we put together a couple of shows a year. The one in the fall is generally a fine arts show, and in the spring we have students work towards selling their art down at the shanties in Hyannis, so it has a little different feel to it. We also try and do a public project every year. We've done sculpture, we've done mosaics that are shown throughout the Cape, and we try to bring the groups together with those group projects and do something public. One thing that has brought me great joy working with these classes is how much the students care for each other. They're always willing to help each other with something or concerned if they're upset or need assistance. They're just very supportive of each other, and I enjoy that very much.
Due to the current ongoing public health emergency, FCTV and its gallery are temporarily closed to the public. So check in at fctv.org or capecodcan.org for a potential public reopening of the show once the facility reopens. Thanks to Andrew Richards for that story. We'll be back after a quick break to get Troy's take on a North Falmouth location that has been home to several iconic Falmouth businesses. Stay with us. Welcome back. In this next segment, Troy Clarkson travels to North Falmouth to check out a location on Route 28A that has long served as the home to several well-known Falmouth businesses. Here's Troy's take on the current tenant and their eye-catching sign.
Thanks, Michael. You know, when people are driving down Route 28A in North Falmouth, they often pass this upside-down sign and wonder, not only why is the sign upside down, but what's going on inside at the former location of Jack and the Beanstalk. Well, follow us inside, and we'll let you know. So the site here, this particular site, actually has a long dairy history. You told me that it was a Hood distribution company, and of course many people know it as Jack and the Beanstalk for a long time, and Smitty's Ice Cream was out back.
Right.
So really you're continuing a tradition on site here.
Right. I had no idea that it had been the home to a Hood distribution site when I looked at the building. I had actually wanted to come to the North Falmouth area again because the distance to the closest grocery store that would carry the same quality of items that I had is 7 miles in one direction. It's 7 miles to Mashpee, it's 7 miles down into town to Stop and Shop and other stores. And so I wanted to bring something to the North Falmouth neighborhood, and every time I came through North Falmouth, this building was pulling me in. So it kind of chose me. I didn't really choose it. And it wasn't until I was here after a year hearing all the different things that were in here, video store, real estate, of course Jack and the Beanstalk on the backside, and Smitty's Ice Cream, that somebody had told me that it was originally the distribution building for Hood Dairy. So it's kind of neat. It's come full circle. It was milk to start with, and now it's into the cheese shop. So it feels like maybe that's the reason it was calling to me.
So I say all the time, it takes a name to make a town, but people to make a community. And you've had the opportunity, being right here in North Falmouth, to really become part of the North and West Falmouth communities. And learn about some of the charitable organizations and really weave that in to your operation here?
Absolutely. I didn't want to just open a business. I wanted to be part of a neighborhood. Again, going back to my experience in the restaurant business, I love all the aspects of the restaurant business, but what kept me there for so long was the interaction with customers. I love one-on-one interaction. We cherish our customers here. We wouldn't be here if they didn't support us. We've gone through a couple of opportunities to get to know people's names by keeping a log of a name file, card file, good old-fashioned pen to paper card file that has individual index cards of our customers and what their cheeses were that they purchased. So we know that those are the cheeses that they prefer. We also do that with our soup list. We have their name, so it serves two purposes. It's helping the customer, but it's helping me learn everybody's name, which I really like that aspect of it. But we're really involved. We have people come in all the time that are involved with different organizations around West Falmouth, Potomac, North Falmouth, small, independent, little nonprofits that are trying to do a silent auction. They're having gatherings to support a vet in town. They're raising money for a research organization. And so we're happy to do a gift certificate here and there to help them with those charities and help them get exposure.
So you're not just in the community, but you're part of the community.
Absolutely. I love to say that we love our customers and just really, really happy to be up here in North Falmouth.
You know, 4 years ago, Jen and Ken Dwyer took a chance. They've lived all over the United States, but they chose Falmouth to come and start their business because they wanted to be part of a community. And so now 4 years and more than 300 cheeses later, they're firmly planted roots here in North Falmouth, and we're sure glad they did. I'm Falmouth Enterprise columnist Troy Clarkson, and that's my take. Back to you, Michael.
Thanks to Troy Clarkson and Donna Buckley for that story. The Falmouth Public Schools have begun an environmental initiative to align itself with the town of Falmouth's ban on single-use plastic bottles by distributing individual water bottles to all staff and students. We checked in at Morse Pond Elementary as the first shipment of bottles arrived.
We actually started the whole water bottle idea because one of T-Ticket's staff members, Claire Poole, told me that she and her daughter had switched from drinking Poland Springs in bottles to reusable containers, and that Falmouth Public Schools was looking to do the same thing. And I know that Dean and Corey are both just always looking to help out school systems any way they can, and so this was a really good opportunity for us to be able to provide them with individual bottles for every staff member and every child.
Okay, the school committee was very happy to accept this contribution because we are in line with the town. At town meeting last year, they voted to ban overusing plastic bottles.
And use reusable plastic instead of single-use plastic, and the school department is happy to support that effort.
I think that's really cool that they gave out water bottles to all the students because not every student might be able to afford one for their, they might not be able to afford it, so it's really cool that they gave it to us.
It's really cool that it's Falmouth Clippers and how every kid in the district gets one and not just one kid, and how these are reusable and they will save the environment from the plastic.
Well, I'm really grateful because we have real water bottles and they could pollute the ocean, and also people couldn't afford these, and every student gets one.
While Falmouth schools are closed during the next few weeks due to the precautions taken to slow the spread of the COVID-19 virus, the plan is to continue the distribution to staff and students at the remaining schools later this school year when it resumes. Thanks to Ryan Weber for that story. During this time of uncertainty, we hope all viewers remain safe and vigilant against the spread of COVID-19 and practice social distancing, but remain connected to our local community. Although Falmouth in Focus will be on a temporary hiatus, FCTV remains committed to bringing you the latest developments and news through our local government coverage. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, our website, and stay tuned to channels 13, 14, and 15. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of the Falmouth beaches on a winter afternoon. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus.